The Indian Ocean, vast, mysterious, and full of secrets. For the fishermen of Kadhur Village, it is life itself. But today, June 7, 2025, the ocean held a surprise. Something monstrous stirred in the depths. They were simple men with simple boats seeking their daily catch. They never expected to greet a legend, a titan of the sea. This day would etch itself into their village's memory forever. The sun was just a rumor on the horizon, a faint blush in the black sky. Stars still clung to their watch as a gentle breeze whispered through the palms. The waves lapped softly, a lullaby for the sleeping village. But not all were asleep. Figures moved in the pre-dawn gloom, preparing to meet the ocean. This was their ritual, their ancient pact. No one spoke of giants, only of currents, mackerel, and snapper. Enough to feed their families, enough to sell at the market. The idea of a true behemoth was for old tales told by lamplight. Yet the ocean is a place of stories, some true, some waiting to become true. Today, a new chapter was about to be written. Every voyage was a gamble, a dance with the unpredictable. But this morning felt charged. A subtle shift in the air. The ocean kept its secrets, but these fishermen were about to uncover one of its most spectacular. What waited for them out there, in the deep blue? The village of Kadhur was old, its roots clinging to the coastline like mangroves. Fishing was heritage, passed down from father to son. The boats, small, wooden, brightly painted, knew the moods of the Indian Ocean. Each creak of timber, each worn rope told a story of survival. Their leader, Riaz, was a man carved by sun and sea, his eyes holding the wisdom of countless sunrises. He had seen much, but never what this day would bring. His crew, a mix of veterans and eager youth, trusted Riaz and the ocean. Preparations began before light, nets checked, hooks sharpened, engines coaxed to life. Hope was their main provision. The hopes of their families rested on their shoulders. The sea was harsh, but could be generous. As the first true light painted the sky, the boats pushed off. One by one they slid into the calm waters, small silhouettes against a vast canvas. The sounds of departure were muted, the chug of engines, the dip of oars, quiet commands. They were heading out, unaware of the colossal challenge that lay in wait. The day's true test was just beginning. The small flotilla motored eastward, leaving the familiar coastline behind. The water shifted from murky green to deep sapphire blue, the realm of big fish. Here, currents collided and life gathered. The fishermen scanned the horizon for signs, birds, ripples, anything. Hours passed under the strengthening sun, the heat grew intense. They cast their lines, baited with fresh sardines, and waited. This was their rhythm, quiet anticipation, broken by sudden bursts of activity. They knew the spots, underwater ledges, seamounts, places where fish gathered. But today, their usual grounds were quiet, too quiet. Riaz felt a prickle of unease. The ocean felt different. He decided to push further out, into deeper waters. Some younger men hesitated but followed his lead. The sun climbed higher, the glare off the water blinding. Still their lines remained slack. Hopes began to dwindle. Then a shout, a rod bent sharply. But it was a false alarm. A small tuna quickly landed. Good, but not what they truly hoped for. They reset the lines. The waiting resumed. The vastness of the ocean surrounded them, making a man feel small. But these men belonged here. And somewhere below, in the sun-dappled depths, something massive was stirring. The ocean was holding its breath. The men sensed it, a change in the current, a tension in the air. Every voyage was a gamble, but today the stakes felt higher. The fishermen braced themselves, not knowing what was coming. The next moment would change everything. The ocean was about to reveal one of its greatest secrets. The hunt was truly on. Suddenly, on Riaz's boat, a reel screamed, a sound that electrified every nerve. Not a nibble, not a pull. This was a raw, unstoppable force. The heavy-duty line ripped from the spool faster than any fish they'd known. Riaz grabbed the rod, the butt slamming into his gut. The power was immense, threatening to pull him overboard. This was no ordinary fish. "Hold it! Hold it!" he yelled, voice tight with effort. The other men scrambled, clearing the decks, preparing for battle. The line continued to peel off, hundreds of meters vanished in moments. The fish was running deep, running hard. What could it be? A shark? A monstrous marlin? The other boats drew closer, their own fishing forgotten. All eyes were on Riaz's struggling vessel. The tension was palpable, the air thick with anticipation. This was not just a fish, it was a challenge, a test of skill and endurance. The rod bucked and kicked, a wild thing fighting for its life. Riaz gritted his teeth, muscles screaming, but he held on. For what felt like an eternity, it was a stalemate. Fish below, men above, connected by a single straining line. Any mistake, any lapse, and it would be over. The fish would vanish back into the abyss, taking their hopes with it. This was the moment they lived for, the ultimate confrontation. The men moved with unspoken understanding, forged by years at sea. The line sang with tension, groaning under the pressure. The ocean watched, silent and immense. The battle had begun, and neither side would yield easily. The fishermen braced for the fight of their lives. The true test was underway. The fight was brutal, attritional. The sun beat down, sweat poured, muscles burned, but the fish showed no sign of tiring. Riaz fought with grim determination, gaining and losing line in a relentless tug of war. Teamwork was crucial, one man on the rod, others managing the boat, all moving in sync. This was more than fishing, it was survival. Hours dragged by, adrenaline fading to sheer persistence. The fish was unseen, but its power was overwhelming. They took turns, each man pushing himself to the limit. Doubts crept in. Could they land this beast? Then a change, the runs shorter, the dives less deep. Was it tiring or gathering strength for one last assault? They had to be careful. This was the most dangerous phase. But hope surged anew, and they redoubled their efforts. Slowly, agonizingly, they began to win. The giant was being drawn upwards. The water shifted, a growing shadow beneath the waves. Then, a flash of silver, a deep, iridescent blue. It was close, so close. Every man held his breath, hearts pounding. The surface bulged, something immense pushing up from below. Suddenly it broke the surface, a colossal bluefin tuna. But like no bluefin they had ever seen. A torpedo of muscle and power, sides a kaleidoscope of blues and silvers. Its fins, scythe-like, its eyes dark and ancient. The sheer size was breathtaking. It lay there, basking in sunlight, as if acknowledging its captors. A true monarch of the ocean, revealed in all its glory. A collective gasp, then shouts of disbelief and triumph. This was the fish of a lifetime, the kind that becomes legend. They had battled a titan, and won. Carefully, they worked to bring it alongside, using all their remaining strength. The giant lay still, metallic colors gleaming, a testament to the ocean's power. They stared in awe. This was more than a fish, it was a marvel of nature. This was no ordinary catch, it was a bluefin tuna, emperor of the seas. Highly prized, its value legendary. A single giant can be worth a fortune. For Kadhur, this catch was monumental, a lifeline, a dream realized. It meant new nets, repairs, education for children, a blessing from the ocean. In coastal communities, a good catch sustains families for months. This bluefin brought prestige and respect. The fishermen would be heroes. Large fish are symbols of strength, abundance, and the untamed spirit of nature. But the bluefin's value is also its vulnerability. High prices drive intense fishing pressure. Populations have declined. This magnificent creature is caught in a delicate balance between human need and nature's limits. A balance we must strive to maintain. The story of this fish is both a triumph and a warning. The bluefin's story is a cautionary tale. Slow to mature, vulnerable to overfishing, their numbers have dwindled. International efforts set quotas, restrict seasons, and promote sustainable fishing. For Kadhur, sustainability is about their future. If the fish disappear, so does their way of life. Many traditional communities have long practiced sustainable methods, but global pressures threaten local wisdom. The capture of this giant is a celebration, and a reminder to protect what remains. News of the colossal catch spread like wildfire. The village erupted in celebration, cheers, music, dancing. The giant tuna was the guest of honor, a spectacle for all. It was a moment of pride, a testament to the fishermen's skill and bravery. The entire community shared in the triumph. This catch would change lives, mend roofs, buy school books, ease burdens. But beyond the joy, a deeper understanding resonated. The ocean is generous but not infinite. The story of this bluefin would become legend, a legend with a message. The future of fishing, the future of Kadhur depends on a healthy ocean. Sustainable practices are ancient wisdom, needing to be remembered and embraced. As they celebrated, they looked to the horizon, committed to stewardship of the deep. Respect the ocean, fish responsibly. That is the true legacy.